you feel you'll always be.
Hey guys, so it is me, Hadassah, and if you are new to my channel, then welcome. Like I said, my name is Hadassahjayde, and I will be a freshman at Georgia State University in the fall. And so I literally just went through this process. So I wrote up some of my tips, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video, and good luck on your college application process. Step one of the college application process is to start early. That is my biggest piece of advice. Try your best to start this process the summer, at least the summer before your senior year starts. If you can, start the process junior year, but if junior year is already over, then go ahead and start this process right now. You're starting in the summer, touring different colleges that you're interested in or that are around your area or, further out. Talk to your parents about touring and visiting different colleges. That way you can get a feel of the schools in person. Research different majors, research things that you're interested in, whether there be hobbies, passions, or a subject in school that you really like. Research careers that you could go into. And it's okay if you don't know, but having an idea is a lot better than just, not knowing at all. I liked to research the best schools that went with the major that I ended up choosing, or the field of interest that I was in, and I researched the best schools for that. That way you can get even a smaller list of schools that you might want to go to if you don't have any prior idea of any schools that you want to go to. Talk to your parents about what schools are most affordable or would work best for finances with your parents. Early on, first step, I would decide what location I want to go to school in, whether that be close or far in another state or in-state. Talk to your family members, talk to your friends, but also truly figure out what you want, because at the end of the day, it's you going to the college, whether it be a big city or like smaller town or something. Just think about what you want. Another thing is talking to your parents, and your guidance counselor is your best friend. Talk to them about fee waivers, because college applications cost money. Most of the time, I would look through your email to see if you've gotten any fee waivers, your guidance counselor, and see if you can be approved for any fee waivers. That way you can apply to more colleges, because it's very expensive to apply to colleges. So talk to your parents about what's best for how many schools to apply for, because a lot of them can be like $80. So really just sit down and have that conversation so that you know ahead of time, this is how many schools I might be applying to. That way you can find the ones that best fit for you. Another key thing early on is asking your teachers and mentors, people around you, for recommendations early on. Went ahead and started like September or August, around that area time. That way I could have all my recommendations, because once it rolls around to January of your senior year, literally everybody's going to be like scrambling to ask teachers for recommendations, and it's a lot harder if it's closer to the due date, because the teachers or mentors won't have enough time to really write something meaningful about you. So go ahead and email your teachers, email people around you for recommendations. Be kind about it. Just say, hey, I need a recommendation for this college, and try to get a few, like 2 or 3, because some schools need more than one. And just go ahead and do that. That way you can have it taken care of early ahead of time. Step 2, making a list of all of the potential colleges that you think you might want to go to. My list started out very, very broad. Schools were like on the other side of the US, and some of them were like very close to me. Some of them were very expensive and hard to get into, and some of them were really easy to get into. And so just have a broad range of schools listed out. That way you can narrow it down as the process moves on. So on this list, I recommend writing out where they're located, and maybe even like how far that is from you, and whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, if it's too far or if it's close. Even write out a little short paragraph on why you chose to put that school on your list. That way you're not just putting random schools, but like, this is a school that I want to go to because of this or because of that. So I numbered my list from like most wanted to go to least, and that way we can also limit the amount that we have on there, or narrow it down. So step 3 is a very big one, kind of. It's considering early action, or a lot of the early action and early decision deadlines are in October and November. And so this is very early on. And so you need to have that list of schools that you want to go to and the number one school basically that you want to choose, because if you do decide to do early action or early decision, it's usually just one school. A lot of schools won't let you do early decision, at least for multiple schools. And early decision basically means that that is the school that you choose, and it's perfectly okay if you don't have a number one school early in the school year. You don't have to do early decision. The only reason I would recommend early decision is if you really know where you want to go, it's your dream school, and it's a smaller applicant pool, so there's slightly a better chance of you getting accepted sometimes if you apply early on, because there's less applications for them to look at. As far as early action, there's usually you can do a few schools. It's just getting an earlier decision date. I didn't do early action, but I did do early decision. Did not work out. I got rejected, but I'm glad I did. That way I can move on with my process. But yeah, I would recommend deciding if you want to do early action or early decision. Talk to your counselors, talk to your parents, and again, really take some time to yourself to figure out whether this is a school that you really want to go to or not. So step 4 is making a common application login, or there's another one that I didn't use, but I recommend Common App. It works great, and that usually opens up, I think it's like September, October, and basically once you make that early on, you can go ahead and start filling out the basics. And the Common App has a lot of colleges on there, and your application is in this one website where you put your basic information in one time, and then usually it's like one essay that you have to do, and they'll send it out to the different schools. It's really easy, but not all schools do it. But if you check on your list, a lot of the schools will have a common application section that you can do. So I would recommend making your Common App website login early on in the school year as soon as it opens, so you can go ahead and knock that out, and also be checking the dates. You need to check your deadlines, application deadlines, and when FAFSA opens, so that you can do that information with your parents, because that opens up early, and the faster you do it, the more money you can get. Okay, so another big thing around step 4 is do not be afraid to ask for help. It is totally okay to ask your guidance counselors, your teachers, your parents for help for essays, or when it asks for certain information that your parents may have. It is okay to ask for help. You need to ask for help. That way you can have all the correct information and be set for all of your applications. So once you've finished all of your applications on the Common App, or you've done the applications through colleges' websites, and you've basically narrowed down all the schools that you are able to apply to with the fee waivers, or with your parents paying or you paying, and the schools that you truly want to go to and are best for you, you wait. So the waiting is probably the hardest part, because it's that in-between time after you've submitted all your applications. Hopefully ahead of time. If you can, try not to submit it like the day before the deadline. That way you can just wait for all your emails and things to come in, and throughout all this application process, make sure you're continuously checking your emails, because that's basically one of the only ways that they communicate with you. And make sure you're checking your accounts that you've made with these colleges, so that you can see if you've been accepted or not. My step 5 is just to continue to research the schools that you applied to and see how the acceptance rate is. Continue to make sure you're making good grades, because if you're not and you end up failing or not graduating, then you won't be able to even go to these schools. So make sure you're continuing to stay on track for graduation. You're talking to your guidance counselors. You're seeing the best possible ways to pay for these colleges, or the college that you're going to go to. You're continuing to tour so that you can know exactly where you want to be. Continue to find out what you want to major in, and find out what these schools have to offer. So once you get your acceptances and your rejections and stuff rolling in, my last step is your decision. So once you've gotten all your acceptances, rejections, or even you've gotten waitlisted, decide whether you want to accept the wait list. Make a list of the schools that you got accepted to, like you did at the beginning, where you wrote out the location, why you want to go there, write out even like the price, write out the things you liked about it, the things you didn't. Pro-con lists are your best friends. And really just sit down personally on your own and figure out what is best for you and what's best for what you want to do and the life you want to live. Again, just continue to talk to your parents about finances and things and your guidance counselors so that you can take the next steps to decide where you want to go. And that's basically it. Once you've chosen your school, go ahead and make sure you do all the things by the deadlines to make sure that you're actually going to go there and you can accept any scholarships or anything. Just make sure you're on top of things. That's really all you need to know. Just be on top of things and do what's best for you. So I wish you guys all the best in your application process, and I hope you like this video. And if you have any more questions, feel free to message me or comment them down below.